the gospel readings we are still within the Christmas season. And the gospel readings with all this Christmas season is something very interesting and even deeply mysterious. When I say interesting and mysterious is that this is the time wherein Jesus has no disciples yet. He has no followers yet. He was in the temple, then during the time when narratives about the birth, then we say these stories of that part of the gospel were something that is at the start of the life of Jesus. As a child, as a young man, about to start his ministry, this is something that we should look into. That we are brought back to where and when Jesus started his life. No wonder, towards the end also of his life, he died, he resurrected, and after he resurrected, before he ascended, can you remember that? Soon we will have it also in the Gospels. When Jesus is risen, and then he tells his disciples, "See you in Galilee." Meaning, let us meet each other in Galilee. Because he was crucified in Jerusalem, and then he first appeared to his disciples in Jerusalem, and then his early disciples were Galileans. They were men from Galilee. And then he told them, "Go back. Tell others, I want to see them in Galilee." And this part of the gospel we have now is that Galilee experience. There must be something in the life of Jesus when he first started his life here on earth. From the time of birth to his growing up years, to his early times when he entered the synagogue, conversed with elders, conversed with his friends, times in Galilee. Times where he calls homes and houses in Galilee. Times when he was with his young friends, growing up years in Galilee. As we continue this Eucharistic celebration, we are still within the season of Christmas. Let this be a reminder of all those times in our lives where our lives started with those beautiful years and times. Our growing up years, our childhood years, our childhood friends, our elementary days, those times when we dream dreams, when we have aspirations and desires. When I grow up, I want to be this. When I grow up, I want to be this. When we run to our parents, when our friends hurt us, when we run to our grandmothers and fathers to seek refuge. How beautiful those days were. Let us not forget those. Because even Jesus said, after he resurrected, "See you in Galilee." There is something in going back to where it all started. Let us have that in our lives, especially those times when we first set our eyes on God and fall in love. Let us go back to those times when the first time we prayed the rosary by ourselves, the first time we learned to pray the rosary by ourselves, and then we say, "I must lead the rosary now." Then, okay, it's the turn of your cousin, it's the turn of your sister or brother because you had it yesterday, and then we cry. We cry because I want to lead the rosary. When the first time you went to Mass with your parents, grandparents, and then after the Mass, you look forward to the next Sunday because you want to go to Mass again. The first time you had your first communion, and then you want to go to communion every day. Look at those first times. Look at those early stages of our faith. The first time you set your eyes on God and fall in love. This is one invitation during this Christmas season. And this season we have now falls on the times when we are in crisis, when we are in difficulties. And it will give us hope, encouragement, When we look back in those times when we are so helpless, when we are dependent on others, but God was always there for us. There were always people to take care of us. There were always people to guide us. There were always people to help us, because God sent people to tell us how much He loves us. So this Christmas season, times may be difficult, but remember, when you look back, God has always been there. So in these times, always be reminded, God is here, always with us and for us.